Don't run out of gas on the Autobahn. It's a crime. Now that I did not know. I have been in Germany at this point about 4 or 5 times, and I think I have a nice little opinion on the do's and don'ts when visiting Germany. And there's a list here that popped up on Reddit that I wanted to cover with you guys. So if you guys would be so kind as to giving this video a like before we get started, and keep your ears tuned in and let me know in the comments down below how accurate these are, or maybe you want to add even your own suggestions in the comments down below. So it says a cool guide to the do's and don'ts when visiting Germany. It says shaking hands. That's a do. Make sure you shake hands. Shake hands when you're introduced to someone. It's impolite not to. I think that's kind of a universal thing. I don't think there's very many cultures where shaking hands is an offensive thing. You know what I'm saying? Now I do know that like which hand you shake with in some cultures matters, but in general, it's not that difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like if you gotta do this whole song and dance and you're not trying to be respectful, then you're gonna have a rough time. So just, extend every courtesy you possibly can. So that makes sense. If that is accurate, let me know in the comments down below. Now a don't that's right across from it is throw waste in the wrong bin. I talked about this in an upcoming video. I'm still recording it as of now, but one of the most frustrating things about Germany is that your recycling system is as complicated as splitting an atom. I literally can't even, okay? I thought it'd be easy, but then you have some weird things like what happens if you have a burger in a cardboard box that you got from McDonald's? Does the cardboard box that was laced in food go in the cardboard or the paper bin, or does it go into the actual regular trash bin? Then there's 4 other little bins and stuff like that, and I'm super confused. It is a very complicated process, and no matter how you slice the pie, someone's gonna be mad at how you recycle, okay? That's what it seemed like to me. So please inform me in the comments down below, what are some speed run easy tips to recycle properly in Germany? Now I know things like plastic and glass bottles, too easy, but it gets more complicated when it comes down to food items, okay? And notice how I said items and not just food, because obviously food goes in the waste bin, but like what about items that contain food? What if there's remnants of food on those items? You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that, and then other things as well. How do you decide what goes where? That's my simple question. Let me know in the comments down below. Another do is take your shoes off when entering someone's household, okay? Many Germans wear house shoes or socks around the house. That's just a common courtesy. Again, we've gone over this before as far as just, rendering some basic respect. Now in America, I didn't realize how common it was, but a lot of us love to wear shoes in the house. We like to walk around and lounge around the house in some shoes. The only time I've ever had shoes on in the house is when I was on my way out the door, okay? I never chilled in the house with some shoes on unless the person's house was absolutely abominable. And I'm talking roaches running around like they're at a track meet or something all over the house. If your house is dirty, expect me to wear shoes and a suit, okay? But if your house is clean, I'm taking my shoes off. I'm walking around barefoot. I'm gonna walk around in some socks or something. I'm not gonna mess your floor up with the dirty outside, germs and stuff like that I'm tracking into your house. I'm gonna leave that by the front door. So that's just a common courtesy thing. Now, the next thing to don't wait for others to be served and for someone to announce Guten Appetit. This one might be a bit controversial. So out of the times I've visited Germany, I've eaten with a lot of different people, and I would like to say that might not be true, because upon people getting their food, they just started eating. If you're hungry, eat. You know what I mean? Like you're at a restaurant, you get your food. Now, and I mean when they got their food before everybody else they ate. Obviously, if you get your food, you're supposed to eat. But I'm saying when we were at a restaurant or any kind of food establishment, if someone at the table got their food first, they would start eating. We would all still be talking and we would be waiting on our food, but whoever got their food first would start eating, and then, the consecutive people who received their food afterward, same. Very rarely do we wait on people to eat their food and stuff because we didn't want the food to get cold. So it depends on your group of people, I would like to say, because I don't think that's that accurate. You guys let me know in the comments down below. Is it a courteous thing to do? Absolutely, it is a common courtesy, but again, it depends on your friend group. I don't think that's a genuine don't. Another one says, wait to be dutzed. So I don't know what dutzed means, but underneath it, it says address people with the formal you, Z, if the familiar you do is okay. They'll let you know. Ah, okay. Wait to be duped. So make sure you wait to be duped. So don't just use do on anybody. And I heard about that. I should work on that because I address everybody as do. I act like I've known everybody for a long time, okay? And that's not good because some people are like, yo, you need to relax. You need to relax. But hey, I know I've been learning German on and off for 3 years, but the one thing I did notice about learning German informally is I don't know how to address people formally. Next thing is don't forget cash. And this is important. I've gotten very comfortable with society innovating and gravitating towards credit cards and debit cards. And I will say this, don't get too comfortable. All right, especially in Germany. There's a lot of places that will only take cash, especially Döner spots, right? So when you buy a Döner, a lot of places will only take cash. They're like, bro, if you don't got cash, get your ass on, boy. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna buy anything from here if you don't have cash. It's just, I don't know. A lot of it depends on the establishment, but again, you should have some money on you, especially if you're in a public location and you need to use the bathroom. That is pivotal. I've actually saved every single euro that I have collected from Germany in a little handbag. It's a little, like, it looks like a coin purse, like a little coin bag, right? Jingle, jingle, jingle. And basically, whenever I go out and stuff like that, if I have to use the bathroom, it's come in clutch so much. Let me tell you a quick story. On this camper tour that I just had, we all stopped by this Tankstellen, right? Because we had to fill up the campers. And I think at this point, there were probably about, I'd say 9 or 10 of us. Not a singular person, mind you, I'm the only American there. Everybody else is German. Had cash. And the Tankstellen, like, you needed to pay like €2. 2 Euro to get inside the bathroom area. And they're like, man, who has cash? Who has cash? Like, everybody was like concerned about having to go in and pay for something to get some cash, some coin. And I'm like, actually, I have my coin bag from last year. And I had about like $60 or $70 worth of euro coins in this little baggie. So everybody got to pee thanks to me, you feel me? So you'll never know when it comes in handy, but I promise you it'll come in handy more times than not. So bring some fucking cash. If you don't bring cash to Germany, might as well not travel to Germany. Cultural dues. Be honest. Germans like talking politics and philosophy. They don't do small talk and expect you to share your opinion. Yeah, that's very true. Give your honest opinion. Don't hold back. Obviously, it's very easy to do so in times like these where cancel culture is rampant. You know what I mean? If you hide your true feelings, people will know. I've done that, and I'm like, man, but the more and more I've traveled to Germany, it's been easier and easier to kind of just be like, okay, cool. I like this or I don't like this. For instance, if someone makes you some food, for instance, and it tastes bad, tell them it tastes bad. I mean, you don't have to say you're the worst chef ever, unless that's genuinely true, but just be like, yeah, this wasn't good. So definitely be honest to get you far. Jaywalking. No cars coming, doesn't matter. You wait for that Ampelmann to go green. This is very controversial. I don't think it's that controversial. This is okay, commercially, yes, you should not jaywalk anywhere, not even in the States, not even in Germany. But in big cities, nobody cares. Listen, I've only been to Germany about 4 times, right? 4 or 5 times. I've jaywalked probably more in Germany than I have in America in a year. Okay. Because I've been to major cities in Germany and people need to get places, bro. If you're on a time crunch, you're not about to wait for that thing to turn red. If there's no cars coming, look both ways before you cross the street and you go. Because a thing is, of course, Germany is a society where you need to follow rules and whatnot. People still run red lights just like they do in any other country. You could be walking and you have the right of way, the light is green, and they have the red light and they still blow past the red light right by you. It's happened to me in Germany. I was in Hamburg. I was crossing the street. The light was green and there were like 4 or 5 cars that rode through a red light while I was crossing. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, then I absolutely can jaywalk here. So y'all let me know how you feel about that in the comments down below. Cultural dues. It says be punctual. Now, obviously, we know this does not apply to the Deutsche Bahn because the Deutsche Bahn, it's impossible for that service to be punctual, okay? They're working on it because they just bumped up the 49 Euro ticket to 59 Euro in an attempt to scrounge up some more coin to repair the railways and stuff like that. I'm not sure how effective that's going to be, But that's what we're looking at right now when it comes to meeting people, right? When people say meet up at 5 p.m., you meet them at 5 p.m. I will say this is becoming less and less of a stereotype, but I will say foundationally speaking, it's still there. For instance, I'm notorious for showing up to most locations late. If you guys have seen me in Germany and I've said, hey, we're gonna have a meet and greet at this location, I always show up late to meet and greets, always. I know I shouldn't, but I do. So yeah, not the best. Now, did people care? Absolutely they cared because they took time out of their day to show up. But because it was so spontaneous, because it wasn't like I let people know 3 days in advance and then I didn't show up. I let them know 10 or 15 minutes in advance and people didn't have time to plan around that. So a few people showed up and it was still bad on me for showing up late. Just make sure you show up on time. Where it doesn't matter as much is like, okay, so I was told to meet up at a certain location and stuff. So for the camper tour, I showed up there 30 minutes early, and the very same people who told me the time to meet up, they showed up 30 minutes late, and it was like 5 of them. So I'm like, oh, and this has happened more times than one. I've like linked up with friends from Germany and they're like, hey, we're gonna meet up here at such and such a time. They show up like 30-40 minutes late, and I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I thought y'all were punctual, but clearly that's just like an erroneous stereotype, whatever. If you disagree with that, let me know in the comments down below. Walking in the bike lane. Listen. For this one, we gonna have to, truer words have never been spoken. Stay the fuck. I'm gonna say that one. Stay the fuck. One more time. Stay the fuck out of the bike lane. All right? You don't want that kind of smoke. I don't care if there's nobody in the bike lane. Stay the fuck out of the bike lane. All right, it's a hazard in general, and also the people in that bike lane, I don't know what kind of crack they be smoking or whatever, but they got a wild hair up their butts every time they touch that road, okay? They bike up and down it, and all of a sudden they go from the nicest person on the planet to the most evil being in existence, and that's everybody in the bike lane. So stay away from it. If you want to make enemies, walk in the bike lane. If you want to make friends, stay the fuck out of the bike lane. Let's go to the comments, because I'm pretty sure there are additional pieces of advice that I probably didn't even know about that I need to take heed to when I travel back to Germany. Don't run out of gas on the Autobahn. It's a crime. Now that I did not know. I was terrified driving on the Autobahn. Yes, your boy drove in Germany and I did not record it because I was too scared to turn my camera on while I was driving, okay? I was not comfortable. I was driving one of the campers from Berlin to Hamburg, and bruh, I almost refused to go in the left lane at all. We were on the Autobahn. I stayed in the right lane as much as I could, and I still was driving too slow. I was driving a little under 100 km/h, and I know that's slow, so don't get on me too much, but I was not used to driving that fast, okay? I drive slow. In the States, I'd be driving like 50 miles an hour. 65 miles an hour is fast for me, okay? That's fast. So 100 km/h, that was a little crazy for me, especially considering that everybody at least was going 120 km/h, all right? And that's at least. Those are the slow people. So the slow people were passing me up. The people on the left lane were going 220 km/h, okay? Sometimes 160, 180, whatever, but all of them were faster than me. And I promise you the saying is true. If you think you're fast, I promise you there's somebody faster on that Autobahn. And it's crazy because you'll look in the rear view mirror to try to merge onto the left lane so you can pass the person in front of you, and there will be nobody in view, right? The whole street will be clear, and the second you go to merge, somebody's like, past you, just like that. It's scary, bro. It's a war zone out there. I can't do it. I don't know how y'all do it, but I can't. The comment underneath this right here says, I thought you were joking, but this is real, LOL. Well, running out of fuel isn't illegal per se. It's the parking followed by having no fuel that's punishable. Interesting. Very true. Next one says, I live in Germany and German is my second language. Every textbook says to use the formal Sie instead of du, unless you're invited to. But if I use Sie with people my age who I meet casually, they just laugh. It's complicated. Exactly. It's just like calling somebody ma'am or sir in America. Now, most people in America, if you call them sir, they won't give a fuck. They'll probably giggle a little bit. But if you call a woman ma'am, she might slap the soul out of you, bro. Because you basically call her an old lady. That's how you address old ladies. Now, if you're in the South, then yeah, ma'am might be okay. But still, if you address somebody that's in their 20s at all as ma'am, like a woman as ma'am, prepare to lose your teeth. I hope you saw a dentist soon and you have an appointment to get veneers or fake teeth or something, because they will snatch them things up and make a necklace out of them. Okay, don't even let the word utter out of your mouth. Okay, so I do see how it can get a little bit complicated, because some people might not take too kindly to that. Maybe people are struggling with their age and getting older and stuff like that, and you go ahead and dump a Z on them, like Z, the Hazen Z. They'll be like, sir, address me as dude. I'm not that damn old. Anyways, so the official etiquette is right here. One of the Reddit users says, older person invites younger person to do. Higher ranking person invites lower ranking person to do. Okay. So it has to be older person invites the younger person to do. Higher ranking person invites lower ranking person to do. So it has to come from above. Like the lower ranking person can't establish dominance. That just don't work. You know what I'm saying? So that means don't offer your teacher the do. You can try to do a one-sided thing of just offering them your first name, but old people might not like it. Basically, you should use the formal Z whenever you'd call someone sir or madame. Madame. If you're both younger than, say, 25, do is probably fine most of the time outside of strong hierarchies, like if they're your boss or doctor or something. Yeah, that's crazy. Another one says, make sure you pay for your seat on the train. There's no turnstile to check if you paid for your trip. This is very important. I've seen people get packed up left and right on the ICE train and the Deutsche Bahn for just not having their tickets on them. And people always pull the, oh, my phone's dead, my ticket ain't on I'm sorry, my phone, I'm sorry, I bought my ticket, I promise, but it's on my phone's dead. The ticket master is only gonna be kind to you for so long. And the funny thing is, a lot of people pull that shit. Now, while I can confirm that this has happened to friends of mine, I make sure my phone is charged, or I have a power bank that has at least 4 charges on me, because if the ticket master comes by and is like, Fahrkarte bitte, and I'm like, I ain't got no Fahrkarte, motherfucker. No, I'm like, my Fahrkarte is on my phone, but my phone's dead. Then you're gonna get a 60 euro fine. And if you don't pay that, good luck getting back into Germany. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you pay for your ticket before you get on the train. Now, here's a very diabolical fact about purchasing tickets, and this happened on my last trip to Germany. The Deutsche Bahn is cooked, and it's cooked in like 1,000 different ways. Let me tell you something. When I was riding the Deutsche Bahn, there were maybe 12 seats behind me, and these Irish guys came in on the train. They sat in those 12 seats because they reserved those 12 seats. Hear me out. When you reserve a seat on the train, the Deutsche Bahn is so cooked that it will double book people for the same seat. How do I know? Because a German lady walked on the train and she was turning up. She was mad. She was fuming. She's like, this is my seat. Here's my reservation. And then they're like, well, here's our reservation. They had the same exact seat. This Irish gentleman and this German woman had the same exact seat. They both booked the same exact seat. The Deutsche Bahn allowed this to happen. And yet, there was conflict. So she obviously didn't get her seat. She wanted to sit in some other random spot. But that's what I find so strange about the Deutsche Bahn. You can buy a ticket to the ICE or the Deutsche Bahn, whatever. Now, the Deutsche Bahn, like the regular Deutsche Bahn, like regional trains, there's no assigned seating. Sit wherever the fuck you want. But with the ICE, there's typically assigned seating in some cars, or most cars, I would like to say. But you can buy tickets and there's no assigned seating, so you just sit wherever it's open. But then like randomly people will come by and they're like, hey, that's my seat. And I'm like, oh, bruh, I didn't know. So if y'all got a hack for how to operate on the Deutsche Bahn with reserved seats or whatever, please let me know in the comments down below. Okay, this comment right here is everything I just mentioned. Be punctual. Deutsche Bahn exists, literally. There's no possibility of being punctual if the Deutsche Bahn exists. Don't jaywalk if kids or police are nearby. Jaywalk if there is no car and no kid to be seen. Exactly. This is what I'm saying. This is the most accurate piece of information. Make sure that there are no kids or police nearby. If there's no kids and there's no police, walk across the motherfucking street. Somebody asks, are kids snitches in Deutschland? No, but if their parents or guardians are nearby, you'll get yelled at. You don't want to be a bad example to the children. Okay, yeah, the parents are like pretty vicious, I'm not gonna lie. Here we go. Also, remember to have change to use the toilets there. Most are around 50 cents, but this might just be Berlin. It depends on where you are, cause bro, some of them fucking bathrooms was 2 euro, bro, to use the damn bathroom. I'm like, bro, I might as well just take a shit in some fucking bushes or some shit, bro. Like €2 to take a shit, bro. Come on, man. Crazy. Now, of course, I told you about my coin bag, so obviously I just busted that out, and I'm like, here you go. Also, never do the Nazi salute. Doesn't matter if it's meant to be a joke. You'll be arrested and persecuted since it's a federal crime. Don't fuck around and find out. Seriously, do not fuck around and find out. They don't play about that shit. Don't randomly go up to people and start speaking. I noticed people prefer to be left alone. That's also true in any culture. Don't just randomly walk up to people and start talking. I mean, that's just a rule of thumb to be safe. Now, can you do this in Germany? Actually, you can. You 100% can, depending on the situation. If you're asking for directions, 100% you can. You might get some crazy looks, but if you need to get to a destination, you got to get to a destination, and you might want to ask some questions. First of all, ask questions to the people who are designated for that. So if you're at the Deutsche Bahn and you're fucking confused as far as where you need to go to the Riesenzentrum, you know? So, or the Reisenzentrum. So basically like the travel center, go there, talk to the personnel there. The staff is actually pretty helpful. They might not be in the best mood, but they'll help you out. Okay, if that doesn't work, then ask whoever is around you, because that's what I had to do. And I didn't care. People are in bad moods and it don't bother me. I got to get somewhere. So it's either I keep quiet and stay lost, or I open my mouth and I'm not. So if you got to, then you can. The thing is, small talk, that is something that people don't really appreciate too much, because if you do happen to get the attention of somebody and they do happen to engage you in conversation, just know it's going to be an actual conversation. And if you don't have the energy for that and you spend all that time bothering that individual, yeah, don't be surprised when you get a dirty look or a nasty response. All right, next suggestion, next piece of advice. Do not wish someone happy birthday before their birthday. I did to my German friend and she flipped out. It's considered bad luck if you wish someone a happy birthday before their actual birthday. So no early birthday wishes. Even though you invited the birthday party that you can't attend, do not say happy early birthday. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. So you have never been in any German city if you think jaywalking is a cultural no-go. That's what I'm saying. I literally have been in almost every major German city and everybody jaywalks, bro. Everybody jaywalks. Don't worry about that. Next one says, when toasting, look everyone in the eyes. Otherwise it's impolite. Nah. Fuck the impolite shit. You want to have 7 years of bad sex? Do you want to have 7 years of bad sex? Nah? Then make sure you look the motherfuckers in the eyes when you toast. If you don't want that, make sure you make eye contact. Lock eyes. All right? That's very important. Because if you don't one time, that's 7 consecutive years of bad sex. All right, and that's why people take that shit serious. Next thing, we'll do 2 more and we're done. We were in Frankfurt recently. We noticed that all drinks you buy have a modest surcharge added to strongly encourage recycling the bottle. Whether glass or plastic, it was usually 25 to 50 cents. Euro. So yes, this is very important, because if you go to supermarkets, blah, 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 they add that surcharge on the end. If you put it in the fond machine, you get it back, which is also why people say don't just throw out your bottles and stuff like that. Leave it out for people to collect that need it, because there are people in unfortunate financial situations that need that money. So they'll collect those bottles, they'll put it in the fond machine, they get money back, and it's a nice way to take care of the people around them. And it's a very easy way to take care of the people around you and stuff like that. So make sure, if you do have a bottle out there that has the fond sign on it, to leave it out next to a trash can or a receptacle of some kind, so that when people are walking by and they actually need that money, they can go ahead and collect the bottles and put it in the fond machine. So yeah, just a piece of advice. Boom. Another one says, okay, boom. I've been to tons of restaurants in Germany and Austria, and I've never had the issue of them not taking cards. Not saying some don't, but I would say a majority do take cards. This individual is right. However, there was one time where I went to a restaurant in Cologne, and they did not take cards. They took cash, and I did not know this until I was done eating my food. And they said, sir, sorry, we don't take card, only cash. And I barely had enough to pay for the food I ate. Barely. I did have enough in cash, but barely. If I did not have any cash on me, I do not know what would have happened to your boy. We probably wouldn't be here having this conversation. Anywho, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. How accurate were these do's and don'ts? because there are a lot of them that I would definitely love to talk to you guys about in the comments down below. Make sure you subscribe and like the video. When you like the video, it pushes it out to more people that can also like the video. So like the video, all right?